Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, easy, bud. Easy.
Let's go.
We are live. We are back. Episode 35. Idiots on a Mic. We got a big guest for you today. Good friend of ours. Some may know him as Bobby Boucher, aka the Savior down south.
The Rhino Wrestler.
The Rhino Wrestler.
Also know him.
Yeah. A man of many names, a man of many talents. Let's go ahead and bring him on. Hondo, buddy, how are you?
Hondo! Woo! Yeah!
I have not wrestled a rhino, but I have given a rhino a hug. So.
Oh, well.
Listen, I get Snapchats on a regular basis from this man.
You won.
Yeah. I get regular Snapchats where he's just like feeding a hippo or petting a giraffe while I get to travel a lot with my job and what I do, I am envious of you every single day that I get a Snapchat from you and what you're accomplishing in your little realm over there.
Yeah, it's got some pros and cons, and the pros are you get to hang out with really cool animals every day. So.
And the cons are you potentially get chased by a cheetah because someone left the gate open.
Yeah, that's part of our job too. We don't talk about that one as much, but
yeah. So to like the general public, is it much different behind the scenes as people would think?
No, I think it's just more intimidating. I actually had a couple the other day when the zoo closed. They just turned down one of the back roads and were literally just trying to like run around as much as they could. And we all knew what they were doing, so we just called security and they caught up with them. But it's not that different. I mean, basically they're just buildings that are locked, so people can't get into them. And then, there's some advanced technology with fencings and hot wires and things like that. But it's nothing out of the ordinary or like Jurassic Parky. Even though the elephant yard now it kind of looks like Jurassic Park because they have those same cables with hot wires above and below.
So do you have to watch like for each new exhibit you go into? Do you have to like watch like a safety video of like, oh yeah, don't put your head in the lion's mouth, or, like.
So certain animals you can have contact with and free contact. So rhinos, any carnivore you can't have free contact with. So there's always a barrier. The only way that would ever happen would be an emergency situation where something gets out or you completely mess up. And as the cheetah situation, you leave a door open and don't know it. Or like the lady in Topeka last year, she left a door open and walked in, and that's when she got attacked by the tiger. It was completely accidental and on the keeper and not the animal's fault, which is why they didn't kill it. But that stuff happens. People make mistakes, and just like any other field with doctors or police officers or anything, mistakes happen. And unfortunately, in our line of work, you can actually die doing it. So
now, are these animals like are they like cool with you guys because they're like familiar, or do they just like wait till I get out of here, boy?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think most of our animals are zoo born. So we're not like picking lions up from, the savannah in Africa. I wouldn't trust a carnivore, period. I don't care if it's a slumbering bear in the middle of hibernation. I'm not going in there with it. I have been a part of a bear procedure where it was knocked down and, they had to do some medical checks on her. So we were in there, just in case she does come to, you kind of just help pile on her like you would a crocodile, right? And then the vets get another dose in her because all the doors are open for the most part because people need to get in and out. So there are a lot of safety procedures, but no, we don't really we don't have that many new exhibits that often. So, you kind of learn the safety and then you go from there, and you have to go through, a training process, and you have to get approved by your supervisor and then the curator too. So definitely some steps where you have to get approved before you can just go hand, a lion a T-bone steak. So
that's I got a fun little camping story in terms of bears with you and I, but let's run our intro video and then we'll kick it off on the other side here.
Sounds good.
If I give you a beer and you didn't finish it right on the spot,
You're kind of slaughter them all because now I know they're plotting against me, them motherfuckers. I'm on to you.
That was the most disgusting moment of Rod's life.
Next question.
There was a follow-up about a finishing move, but I'm not so sure I want to ask that.
Cheers. Well, see, what we do with that bear is we go ahead and we mow that bitch down, okay? So you're probably not familiar with this yet. We have started buying Nerf guns again. Now, for those of you who don't know, Hondo, being the king of Nerf guns, would take these sons of bitches apart, put an extra spring in them, so they're shooting about 200 miles an hour right at your eyeball. If you're not careful, you will get shot directly in the eye. So you and I went camping down in Boise, and we go along this trail, right? And we've got the bear mace and everything, and Hondo's explaining to me that they have to be within like 10 feet of you to even start spraying this thing.
Basically.
What kind of deterrent is bear mace? Like just
but so the other thing is we're along this stream the whole time, and the snow caps were just starting to melt, so the stream's pretty strong and it's loud. And Hondo's explaining to me, you just need to shout, like every now and then, just shout, because the biggest thing is the bears don't hear you coming in those situations. So let them know you're coming like well in advance. So we're just kind of like walking around, having a normal conversation. He's got his dog with him. He's yeah, and then so just out of nowhere, I'm like, all right, this is fucking weird.
But I don't know how many bears there are in Boise. I don't even know if grizzlies have made it that far yet, but I'm sure there's probably black bears and mountain lions over there and wolves.
Well, the other thing I'd like to point out too is if you have any concerns about the wildlife in the area, don't go camping with Hondo, because so we're going camping. And we're staying out by this creek, and there's all these willow trees. And he's like, "Oh, moose would love it here, man. Moose would love it. This would be a good spot for a moose to come. A nice setup." And the wind was kind of whipping against the tent, so you couldn't hear anything outside the tent. So he says to me, he's like, "Yeah, we can just get trampled in the middle of the night and nothing. Like there's nothing we could do about it." I'm like half asleep, and now I finally closed my eyes again, and he's like, "I wonder if there's wolves in this area."
Yeah. Dude, fiance and I just went camping in New Mexico, and she was freaking out about bears and mountain lions. And I was like, there's no way a bear is going to trample through us in the middle of the night. She thought she was going to get ripped out of that tent in the middle of the night and become a bear burrito. And
that is beautiful. Bear burrito. I love that.
Yeah. That's a lot of people's fear, and it's just like, I don't think black bears would do that. Maybe a grizzly, but that would be an extreme rare circumstance.
Now the other one too. So we end up going to Utah. Actually, only a few months after that, I believe.
Yeah, it was, I think 3 or 4.
And I mean, I don't go to Utah in August because it is fucking hot, man.
Yes,
I mean, it's unbearable. So we had to sleep with the doors open on the tent because it was so hot. 2-man tent. The only way you could fall asleep. We were lucky enough that it rained the nights that we were there.
That's right.
So we got the doors open, and sure enough, what does he say to me? Yeah, if you roll over and you feel like this kind of like squishy pile, like, don't move. It's probably a rattlesnake snuck its way into the fucking tent. See, and it's I mean, there's just no hope for confidence when you're camping with us. I mean, I appreciate the realism that there is possibility that these things are going to have, like, there, however slim the chances, there is a chance.
Yeah.
But always there to bring me back down to earth when we're going camping. I don't even
think that's realism. I think that's like winning the worst case scenario lottery. Like, it's just like, what could happen that would be the most extreme dangerous thing, and that's what Hondo says most of the time. But
giraffe's gonna come over here and headbutt you right in the chest, knock your heart out of your body.
I have seen some pissed off giraffes.
You see, yeah. Do the old head whip thing? They just beat each other with their necks?
The males do that, but the females, man, they'll whoop the shit out of you with their feet. I mean, they can kick straight forward, and it's like a weird whip. And, dude, it looks like it hurts. I don't ever want to it can break bones. I don't want to try it. So,
see, I got a story, too, for this, too. A little wildlife action.
That's all
right. So, in Central Ohio, what do we got? We got, like, foxes, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Like, we don't have a lot that's like, you go camping in Central Ohio, you're like, I'm pretty safe. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But so when I was in deep South Georgia, not too far from the Florida line, I was fishing with a buddy who was like native from the area, and I'm getting out on the rocks and I'm getting like right up on the water fishing, and he goes, don't forget we have gators down here, and I'm like, all right, yep, something to think about.
Yeah, man. Growing up in Florida, so I grew up in Central Florida fishing and stuff along the rivers, and dude, not just gators, but also cottonmouth, dude. They hang out in the trees and on the banks. And I remember we were fishing one time, flipping lily pads along the St. John's, and this copperhead was just in the tree and almost fell right in the boat. And you want to talk about an 8-year-old freaking out? Matt just whipped out his Nerf gun like he was a problem.
I'm gonna take it out.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Send this thing 6 feet deep.
You want to see a big man scream, drop a snake in his lap, see what happens.
Oh. So I didn't mention this prior to the show starting, but we are able to see live comments as they're coming in and pull them up on the screen. So Papa Steele chimes in.
Oh yeah.
Little story about me as a child. I was an axe wielder. However, I was not a good axe wielder. So
that explains a lot.
I'm cutting wood, right? I'm cutting wood, and there's no reason for us to cut wood. We bought bundles of firewood. It's cut already, and so here I am just kind of chopping away. We get this nice little hatchet, and I just happened to be a little too close to the tent at the time and just cut a gash in her about yay big. Had to go to the store and get some duct tape, close it up. I mean, there's a nice little picture of me just like holding an axe at the old chest across the heart. I mean,
man, I haven't seen
such an American photograph, but yeah, just went it. Now, have you been axe throwing? There's some axe throwing places out by us.
You know, I don't. They do have one here in Fort Worth. I have not been to it, but I don't know. I've dabbled a little bit when I was in Boy Scouts, and when you get bored at hunting camp, you know, you do whatever you got to do. But no, I've never been to the bar.
It's
a fun.
It is very enjoyable. Yeah, it
Absolutely.
is very enjoyable.
Good way to get rid of some aggression, huh?
We went, and by the way, let's take a moment. All three of us are engaged to be married this year. Who would have thought we'd be here in this moment? So I went with my fiance and her family, and it was a grand old time. I mean, you get options. So they give you like the big 2-foot throwing axes that you could throw it one-handed, you could throw it two-handed, however you want. And then they had little tomahawks like this big that you just flick your wrist and just send them. Now her pops is wanting to set up because they have like an old farmhouse. They got barns on their land. So he's like, just get a nice soft wood for this. Go ahead and set it up on the back. I'm going to help him with that project, because I will be there yucking tomahawks probably every other weekend if I get a chance to during the summer. But it's so much fun. Like, I've never felt more like a man holding on to that. Dang, I'll tell you what.
It takes you a few throws to get it right, though.
I'll top
it does. It does. So the one thing I want to talk about, I want to address the jersey that you're wearing.
Oh yeah,
Bourbon Bowl, baby.
Yeah, Bourbon Bowl.
We have this long-standing joke, primarily between the three of us, Mike as well, who does not frequent the show at all. However, you have the mannerisms of Adam Sandler as a person.
Yeah.
So we've gone through some impressions. Now, God. Rod does a fantastic Bill Clinton impression.
I don't know if I've ever had to do an Adam Sandler impression on the spot. It's always like movie quotes or references.
Could you do like a My Mama Says?
I know all the ones from the movie. I almost watched it today, actually, just to get a little. I think my favorite one when he's talking about going to see her to play, talk to mama about playing football. My mama said, and he's like, alligators got all them teeth and no toothbrush. But I don't know, man. what mama don't know won't kill her or whatever. I mean, there's just so many good lines from that movie. It's hard to pick one. I think the facial impression is what gets you every time when he's taking the exam and she holds up the sign. Do you want me to kill him? He's like, yeah. Like, every time. But that's not really a line. But
all this started with old Matty Ice over there was telling me, he was telling me about what you're doing at the zoo, stuff like that. This was years ago. And I was like,
yeah,
Matt, think about it. Like, you know who he reminds me of? Adam Sandler, like Bobby Boucher, like 100%.
It had not dawned on me until you brought that up. And I happened to, I think that weekend I probably watched the movie, and I was like, well, my God.
He bought me the jersey before he said that. So how did you not already know that?
No, that he was the one that initially said something.
Yeah.
And then I took it and just
absolutely.
I've been running with that thing ever since.
Right? Yeah. And man, it's a good movie, and a lot of people have never even seen it. But the Adam Sandler 2 coming out, or the Happy Gilmore 2 coming out, would be cool if they actually do it. But
I know. So let's talk about it. This has been probably a week or two in the making now that Adam Sandler came out, did a little Instagram video, whatever it was, and absolutely launched it Happy Gilmore style off the tee. And then you don't even see the ball, and he just goes, I'm not going to lie to you. That ball is smashed.
Yeah.
So naturally, what happened? Shooter McGavin, or the actor who plays Shooter McGavin, I don't know his name. He hasn't been in a lot other than
he's also a Flubber.
He is
yes, he's a bad guy in Flubber.
So this has been our friendship. There's like obscure movie references is what Hondo is good for. So for the longest time, and what I still to this day I'm going to forget the movie, but he always just goes, I want my sponges back.
Fever pitch when he announces he's selling his tickets, and the guy next to him's like, he sells sponges. He's like, I want my sponges back. Like that's all he says, and everybody's pissed at him. But
so yeah, this is that's great.
This is kind of what our friendship has been, but So yeah, I really hope that is something that they intend to do, and this wasn't just like a tease for no reason. I don't think Adam Sandler does things unintentionally anymore. With the fame that he's gathered.
Think of the last time too you just heard Adam Sandler like in the spotlight for something, like besides his Netflix exclusive deals or whatever. Like you're like he hasn't done. I didn't even know he had social media.
He's probably got like 50 Netflix movies coming out this year.
Yeah,
I mean, hey, good for him if that's the thing. Granted, Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison are probably the last two good movies he's made, but
just go with it. I think was pretty good. That makes me laugh quite a bit.
I did like that. 50 First Dates is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
that one's a little bit older. We watched that not too long ago, but
a little bit older. I mean, it feels like it just came out recently.
Yeah. No, man, I don't think he can go wrong with it. I mean, like you said, other than the exclusives on Netflix, the Halloween one he did last year, it was kind of funny, but it wasn't great. And it's just
I didn't even watch it.
Yeah, it's not that great, but he's got some funny mannerisms in it that I copy. But other than that, I mean, and it's not even that I copy; it's just how I talk to people sometimes.
That's just DNA.
Yeah, I guess if you break down my DNA, it would be like Italian, Czechoslovakian, German, and it's like a one
Sandler.
Sandler.
But yeah, you can't go wrong. I mean, I just don't know what the storyline would be, right? Like, what's the goal and the storyline there? So,
I don't know. But speaking
of,
regardless.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I know you have to. I mean, he's built such a name. Like, Grown Ups was good. Like he's built such a name for himself early in his career that
Mr. Deeds.
Yeah. That you can't help but watch some movies that Big Daddy. I mean, there's so many good classics that you're
Pop Anonymous. Why does he get all the easy ones? I love that movie. Oh god.
See, that's a reference we make in this house a lot.
All right.
Yeah. But speaking of like social media and spotlight and stuff, we have a lot to uncover with now I
T-swizzle.
I added something that I didn't put on there with you guys because I wanted a real-time reaction a little bit. Two things. Dr. Seuss is getting 6 books pulled for racial undertones. I don't know if anybody has caught this. I mean, what are we doing as a culture? What
is it? Red fish, blue fish, one fish, two fish?
I don't see. I steered clear of which books it was, and I probably shouldn't have. I probably should have been a little more well prepared for that comment. Probably, potentially. I don't know. I don't know if it's like maybe it's like Cat in the Hat, where he's like, "Oh, I've got these servants, thing 1 and thing 2." Like, I don't understand where the references are. Now, I haven't read every Dr. Seuss book there is out there. However, I mean, I think we're reaching on a lot of this stuff.
It's funny that some of the other topics that you had picked, I think as a culture in general, one, it's easier to
soft.
It's easier to be softer because you have instant access to all the things on your phone and social media. You see what everybody's doing, you see what people are getting away with, what they aren't getting away with. And our culture, the American culture, is like a sue society, right? Like, you messed up, I'm going to sue you. It's not, Canadian, where you just run up and start beating the piss out of each other and you solve it that way like we used to. So I think it's just a combination of people getting soft and, I don't know, bad parenting. Like, life's hard, people. It's not easy. So, like, I don't know.
And here's the thing, too, is like, first of all, the man's dead. Like, what are we picking on him for? Like, the man has come and gone. Now, if we were going to say anything about Dr. Seuss, how about the fact that, like, I think I heard recently, like, he had an affair on his wife while she was paralyzed or some shit like that. Like, let's really narrow down on that, where that is concrete and we can say that is actually what happened, other than assuming that there's these racial undertones in his writings and things like that. And that's the thing, is like, literature is so, like, what's the word? Like, it's so amorphous. Like, it's constantly changing. Like, interpretation is different in everyone's eyes. So, I mean, what do the fact that they're taking now Walmart has taken full advantage of this, because I went to Walmart and every book that hasn't been canceled of Dr. Seuss's is displayed. Like, they're selling them for like $6 a piece. And I don't know, like, some of this stuff I feel like is just a marketing ploy a lot of times too.
Well, and so you talk about doing it in writing, but look at what people happen for just things they say that get recorded. Like, I heard from the other day, one of the Olympic coordinators, I think for Tokyo, I think it's in Japan, he got fired because he said women talk too much. So, like, I mean, you can't say anything and you can't write anything. So eventually it's just going to be this bottleneck where everybody just doesn't do anything.
Now here's the thing too, is, so I always, like, I got my hair cut. I call this my Ellen DeGeneres haircut.
You look just like her.
And she was, it's fairly similar. Yeah.
Just thinning. I'm thinning right here though.
I'm sure my day will come, because redheads notoriously.
For those wondering what books got pulled, it was and to think I saw it on Mulberry Street. If I Ran the Zoo.
Okay.
Mick Elliott's Pool, On Beyond Zebra, and Scrambled Egg Super, and The Cat Quizzer. I've never read any of those books. Other than that, like, I have no idea if, like, there's any sort of, like, bad undertones with that nonsense.
And that's just it. Is, I mean, so the other thing I wanted to bring up is the whole Mr. Potato Head situation. So it's just Potato Head now. They're pulling Mr. from the Potato Head. I mean, but that's the thing, is there has always been a Mrs. Potato Head as well. So where's the underlying issue?
Well, they're actually keeping Mr. and Mr. Potato Head, but the other potato heads are all genderless. But those two are, because it's not actually by whoever owns Toy Story. I was reading up on it because I was like, you gotta be kidding me right now.
Now, like, what is Toy Story 5 gonna be like? What's the situation with the Potato Head family? what's going to be going on there? We have a guy at work, and I think his daughter's in like maybe middle school or grade school or something, and they're teaching the like transgender, like you get to decide, and it's kind of one of those things where it's like, I don't know about you guys. I had no fucking clue at that age. Like I didn't give two shits about it at that age. Like
No.
I don't understand why there's such a drive. Like I'm all for individuality. Be what you want to be, but don't force. Now you're forcing a decision on people at this point.
Yeah, that's a touchy subject.
Especially on brains that aren't fully developed.
Yeah, I mean, once again, technology just gives you too many options, and
yeah,
it's just a dangerous game to play because we're only going to get better technology. So, and I think there are people born one gender that it is very clear that they may want to be the other gender. Mm-hmm. But I don't think it's as common. Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe it's something that's been covered up for so long, but I still don't think people need to push it in school systems.
Well, the thing I've always wondered too is like, why? All right. So like you said, it's clear, some people born one gender and clearly they want to be the other, or they present that way. Well, if you just get the change, then you are the other gender. You know what I mean? Like, I don't.
But are you?
Well, I mean, yeah. If either you got dangly parts or you don't got dangly parts, right?
But if you got dangly parts and then you don't, you can't have a baby.
True.
So are you technically a girl because you have an inverted or
Well, I mean, hey, I'm going strictly off of if you got dangly parts or you don't. So I mean, that's about it. I mean, you can always adopt for kids. You know what I mean? Like.
True. Yeah, well, I'm not saying you can't get kids. There's always
yeah.
Welcome to our TED Talk episode.
I think there's actually ways where like science is starting to figure out how to like
implant
implant children in.
I believe it.
Previous men that are now women, and I'm like, you know what? If you want to do that, good for you. That seems like a lot of work.
Yeah, I don't know where they get
a lot of money.
I can't imagine the cost on that either. Yeah. So for those of you who are just listening, Papa Steele, a regular of the show, decided to chime in this case and inform the people that I myself have not decided what gender I intend to be.
You are.
I'm thinking Autobot. If like I have a choice,
what would your vehicle be though? Like
So we've talked about this on now we've talked about this a while ago. I think I'd be something. I'd be something sporty yet just reliable.
I was going back to the cartoon version where they picked animals, and I was gonna obviously.
Ooh, see those had. No. It was. It was.
Oh yeah,
it was Transformers.
I know what you're talking about.
Optimus Prime was like a gorilla, and
somebody was a rhino.
Was like a cheetah and shit like that. Yeah,
digging into the playbook for that one.
Those were I told you, obscure references, man. He's here for it.
Forgot all about that.
The animals. I don't really remember much about the show, but
they used to make. There was a game. There was a computer game, dude. Listen, I'm right there with you, bud.
Matt's on it now. It's all his show for that one. But
yeah, but if it's an animal, shit, man.
Hey Hondo, what do penguins feel like?
I've touched a penguin.
What do they feel like? Are they soft, slick, or like what? I'm so curious.
They're not furry and they're not loose feathers. It's very oily, flat, rough feathers. Like not rough,
enjoyable to pet them.
Like a rough surface, but rough so that they're coarse. And but they're very well groomed. So
don't answer this question. Don't answer if they're enjoyable to pet, because you will become an accessory to whatever breaking and entering that he's going to do at a zoo to pet a penguin.
Hey man, you wouldn't believe what some people try to do. So we're right next to TCU, and they used to do a thing with their fraternity where they would get drunk and try to get into the zoo. That was
you can't trust them horny frogs, let me tell you.
Yeah, I don't dance with them much because I don't see them, and I do that on purpose. They're pretty great. They're a different crowd, But yeah, they're pretty cool animals. I didn't hung out with rock hoppers and I forget the other one, but they're pretty cool. I've never seen like an emperor penguin. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that's what I was
Cincinnati marches their emperor penguins through the zoo every now and then. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Road trip.
Doodling.
I think they do it during snowy days too, so it's actually like,
Great, I can watch the Bengals lose and check out some
yeah,
penguins.
there you go. Think of like Billy Madison, the penguin.
Hey, you got a ladder in here?
I don't have as many good Billy Madison's references.
Oh, I just watched it the other day.
He called the shit poop. I have that one, but I don't have anything else.
What day is it? I don't know. October? It's Nudie Magazine Day.
Oh God, that movie is pretty good.
Fantastic movie. Fantastic. Yeah. We had to know that Adam Sandler references were well on the way when we started this show up. Couple other things. So we talked about being soft in this generation. Okay, two stories I sent you guys. One is Jeremy Lin has, and I don't know what the entire situation is. I didn't get too deep into the article, but the one thing I wanted to point out is he's been called on multiple occasions coronavirus on the court, and I don't know if this is a. I mean, do you take this as a compliment? Like, is it dangerous? Like, are they calling him dangerous? What's the situation here? Or they just be like, hey, you're Asian. I guess you're coronavirus now.
I mean, the thing for me is like nicknames, right? I had a kid that tried to bully me in 5th grade, and I just laughed at him, and then I never heard from him again. And it's one of those things that's like, dude, you worked your ass off. You played for the Knicks. Like, you got money, and you're sitting here saying coronavirus is the biggest hardship you've had in your life. Like, just don't respond to it. Like, I don't know. It's, I know some of the things that like the baby boomers called each other as kids, and I'm like, holy shit, that's way worse than anything we did. So it's just like, God, man, it's just a name. And I running behind him, yelling it at him every 2 seconds,
And here's the thing: is like it's just so relevant now. Like, what's really the meaning behind it? If you're being called coronavirus, like big deal. Who gives a shit? Like, I could call anybody coronavirus. I don't think it's specific to him necessarily because he's Asian American. Maybe. I mean, maybe that's the intention behind it. I don't know. Like, I haven't seen a clip or anything in regards to it actually taking place. Yeah. But I mean, call me a dickhead, I guess, but that's fucking hilarious. Like, I think that's funny.
And it's just like, dude, everybody hates on everybody these days. It's not. Yeah, I guess majority of people are white, so they don't get as much hate from other whites, I guess. But I grew up with plenty of white kids that got picked on, and
hey, dude, I live in proof right here. You got red hair in the States. Guess what? Now you're getting made.
You still get it.
I
don't know. Oh, I was a biggin.
Yeah, he wasn't huge. You weren't crazy huge, but you had a little belly on you.
A little thicky, yeah.
You also helped me through Spanish class, so thanks for that, buddy.
Yeah. I listen. I don't know Morse code, but I can tap a tune to this old boy getting an A in that class. I'll tell you what.
I think I got like a B- C tops.
Wow, yeah, that's because there was writing portions to those
right. And I changed some answers so we didn't get caught. We're not retarded.
Can't help you there either.
Yeah.
So beautiful system, by the way. I mean, he would sit in front of me, right? I would stick my foot out. He would cover my foot with his backpack, but he could still see.
And then I would sit like this and look down past the chair at his foot.
So we would just go question by question. A was 1 tap, B was 2 taps, C was 3 taps, D was 4 taps.
That is beautiful.
And then so if he somehow missed a question, he would just like go like this, like on his back. Like,
give me the number.
And if he couldn't get my attention, like after a while, he'd be like looking. He'd turn around and go, "What's question 22?" It worked. I mean, we did well.
Hey,
should have never taken that class. Yeah. All right. Back to Jeremy Lin. But
yeah. No, I agree. So this kind of throws me into the next one here. So Taylor Swift also upset. Now, it's a newer show on Netflix, and they made a reference to Taylor Swift. I guess there's one girl that's kind of hooering around, going from
Rich.
guy.
Oh, Rich.
Yeah. Yeah. Going from guy to guy. And they make a reference saying that she's going through more men than Taylor Swift. Fucking hilarious. Because all of Taylor Swift's, I mean, this comes with fame. Like, listen, you got millions, potentially billions of dollars, and you're going through a bunch of dudes. Guess what? We're going to make fun of you for it because your name's in the tabloids, whether we want it to be or not. Your business is for whatever reason our business now. And if you happen to have a lot of relationships, we know about it. So
listen, if you're making millions of dollars off songs that were based on your exes, and there's multiple different exes, like, okay, all right, you know what? You're opening yourself up to some criticism there. Yeah.
I mean, my thing is, dude, it's her right to respond. I have no problem.
Absolutely, yeah.
But at the same time, Netflix has their own freedom of speech, and people can say whatever the hell they want to say.
Yep.
So don't go yelling at the show to rip it down.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and on top of that, like, here's the problem I have. Like, there's actors and actresses that I like, but I don't like. At least I don't think I do idolize anybody in particular, other than Jeff Goldblum, because he's a national treasure.
He's beautiful. What a beautiful man.
Yeah.
Have you seen According to Jeff Goldblum, Hondo?
On Disney Plus?
I've not.
Just check it out. His mannerisms are just beautiful.
Time to look into it. Yeah. Yeah. But that's the thing is, like, I mean, we've been designed to idolize all these people that have money or have fame, and got to finish that to make my point here. That have this money and have this fame, and so when they're upset, we're instinctively saying to ourselves, "Oh no, well, we need to change that. We need to change that because America's sweetheart, what you got there, bud?"
Oh, this is a heavy one. This is old moose drool, boys.
Moose drool.
Of course, it's got a moose on it.
Hell yeah. These are all the way from Wyoming.
Hey, you know those things? They like to go by the willow trees, and on a windy day, they could stomp you to death, and you might not know about it.
Yeah, it's brewed in Big Sky, Montana.
Hey. Oh, Rod's gonna step off here for a second. We'll go ahead and take him off there. Thanks for the heads up, bud.
Yeah.
No, but I agree. I mean, it's one of these things where it's such a soft generation, and I think it starts from the top down. Like, all these people who have fame and money, if they're upset by something, then we have to pretend like it matters to all of us. When at the end of the day, like, you're a person too. Guess what? We've all been through this shit. Now, I'm not condoning bullying. Like, I don't think anybody should bully, but, like, what? I mean, fuck,
is that really
a little tough skin? Yeah, a little tough skin.
I mean, it's one joke on a show. Now, if they keep hammering her, then that's definitely.
Well, here's the thing. See, I'm petty like that. Now, if I'm a Netflix writer, I double, triple, quadruple down on this joke and make this reference over and over.
That would be their right to do so.
Exactly. Like, it's really a non-issue, but unfortunately, we have to talk about it because this is what news is today. Yeah. It's either we're storming the Capitol, or
would you really call that
we're
storming?
fucking yeah.
It wasn't even a cop injured.
Did we start? There was 2 cops that died.
Well, yeah, but I don't think they died in the White House. I thought they died, like, outside the perimeter. I don't know. That's another story. But when I think of the government going to shit, I thought it'd be like, dude, just people running people over, just like pure anarchy. And then I saw the tapes to those, and I was just like, oh, like, yeah, that's not good, but that's boring. Like,
yeah. Where's the death? Where's the destruction? Give me more.
I'm just saying, I personally, obviously tensions are high. Whenever I pictured anybody like even stepping foot on the White House lawn, I thought there'd just be like these robotic arms that come out, just boom, 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 like just wreck anybody. Just wreck anybody.
Yeah.
Now we know it's just a building built by
how's-
slaves in the early 1900s, like long time ago.
How soon do you play that card, though? Because if you got those defenses, I mean, you hang on to that one and keep that in the back pocket.
Like China to get any ideas, Walk into the White House.
They're like,
shocker.
Yeah. They got to reload those things. We better go attack now. Yeah. I don't know. Like, here's the thing is, Taylor Swift has had it so easy for so long now. Like, let's point out the fact that she's been spotlighted to have like 20 different I mean, that's an exaggeration, I'm sure, but like 20 different boyfriends. Like, at some point, is she maybe the problem?
I think it's 12 since 2008 or something like that. So
nice, one a year.
You're close.
Are you like? I want to ask you this: how close are you following up on Taylor Swift's career? No, him. This right there. Yeah.
Well, to be honest, I saw the story and I was like, all right, well, let me see if I can make an argument against her. But no, I mean, she's in her right to respond. But is there some validity to that joke? And there is.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rod has finally done the research that I've asked him to do for the show.
3 minutes before the episode.
All right, I gotta throw one on you guys. When we were in high school, I went and visited my brother in college. He went up to college in Cleveland, and his fraternity brothers. I would walk in there, and they would be arguing this. This is all about physical characteristics, nothing to do with their singing talents at all. Are you Team Swift or Team Underwood?
Underwood.
Wait, it's about their singing talents or
no,
about their physical
not
appearance?
about their singing. It's about their
just their physical appearance.
Yes.
Underwood. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Easy.
I don't even know how there's a Swift side. The chick's a twig. Like,
well,
I'm Underwood all the way.
If Carrie Underwood could suffocate me with her thighs, then yeah, I'm kind of for that.
It's just,
the only case where thick thighs don't save lives.
that was the time I had to ask.
Crushing watermelons and shit.
But yeah, it is what it is. Now if she goes crazy, then it might be a little overboard. But we'll see.
Yeah, I'm. I don't know. I'm done with Taylor Swift. I've been done with her for a while. She's got a few bangers out there. Don't get me wrong, but
very middle school-esque.
But you know who's got bangers, Rod? You know who I'm going to say has bangers. You know who I'm going to say have bangers. A good friend of the show,
Adam Sandler.
Oh,
no. I mean, Adam Sandler does have bangers. Let's not
Devontae McClain, baby.
51st Dates when his friend whiffs. Such a stupid swing. He makes fun of his own swing. And then he's like, "Don't throw it." He's like, "I'm gonna take a Molokai on that one, cuz." Like, he just picks it up and throws it.
Yeah.
What a stupid.
Oh man. Shoot. Rob Schneider's character in 51st Dates, fantastic.
Yeah, perfect.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Would I?
Yeah. He's my friend's gonna stand in for you for this, and he's got the coconut bra on. Oh yeah.
I'm sorry.
But no, so we had a now good friend of the show on, Devontae McClain. He played indoor football league with a kid I went to college with. So we had Mason, Big Butt 65, if you will.
That's right, Big Butt 65.
And Devontae on at the same time. And so Devontae's making music now. You know, he's out there, he's producing his own stuff. He's got music on Spotify. So we've been encouraging people to go check him out and check that out. And while we're doing our plugs, you know what it is. I got this weird thing going on with my arm. I'm going to have Dr. Rod check it out. You can probably see that line running through my arm there.
Yeah, it's because you need to work out. Those toys need some muscle.
Okay.
Stand up there, Rod.
Nope.
So I made
the rod pod's a real thing, all right?
I made the mistake of flexing last show, and I was in a hotel, not good lighting, no shadows or anything really showing on the biceps. It did not do myself any favors. However, I got this thing going on with my arm. I'm not trying to flex. There's a thing here in my arm. I've been putting CBD salve on it, and boy, I tell you what, that's been fixing it, because inflammation for this salve. Oh, dude. You haven't tried the salve yet, have you, Rob?
No, I haven't. I've only tried the tinctures.
It's a thing of beauty. You sleep wrong, your neck's a little tight. Put some of that salve on there. Goodbye. You're feeling good. Now, this isn't, not to be confused, this is not a CBD THC product. There's THC free, CBD only. We are in Ohio. We're not one of them states where you can just go down the street to a dispensary and go ahead and smoke it up. However, it's the little things. I mean, it's long term, because here's what's going to happen. You go to a doctor, I'm having this pain. They're going to prescribe you something. They're going to tell you to get something over the counter. That's going to start affecting your kidneys. That's going to start affecting your livers long term. CBD products are not going to do that. All these pure hemp products are going to have the same effects without the harmful symptoms that you're going to experience. And we like to point out, this isn't like it's not an overnight thing. Okay. You may have upfront, that quickness with some of your pain relief medications, your anti-inflammatories. Yeah, it may work quickly, but it's also going to start doing damage fairly quickly too. So this is going to be a long-term thing. You got to stick with it, but I promise you are going to have more benefits than you are going to have harm, like you would from old big pharma out there to just take your money. And it's not. Go ahead.
Oh, I was about to say, and people, get confused. They're like you're saying, it's not like some instant cure-all or anything like that. I like to think of medicine in two ways. There's proactive and reactive medicine. Proactive medicine, you're taking care of your body before these things even start, And if you start proactive late after you already have the injury, it's going to help, but you're not going to see the full effect of it until, you use it for an extended period of time. And stuff like that, like their tinctures, stuff like that, eventually and Steve does a great job, Vegan Steve, on our episode of talking about the CBD, CBD receptors and like science.
I got a funny statistic about that. Did you know if you get a vegan drunk, I think like up to 40% of them will eat meat?
Vegan Steve, this is a challenge to you. We're going to get you hammered.
Because the vegan part is a
moral
decision.
I thought that was a sex joke.
No, seriously. The vegan part is a moral decision. Whether it has to do with, you don't like the way that they die, you think they're gross, whatever, texture.
Yeah.
But your brain and your neurons actually want you to eat meat.
They might stop being our sponsor here.
My bad.
To just absolutely dump on Vegan Steve. But they're still running our promotion. So if you go to their website, you order some stuff, type in that coupon code IdiotsOnMike, and you're going to get 25% off and free shipping. And it's not an anti-inflammatory. No. What else do we got? We got melatonin. You want to go night for a long time for a good time? Go ahead and get that melatonin. Beautiful stuff. You want your dog to go night, good night for a long time. They've got some calming chews for the dogs as well. So don't be afraid to get some of that stuff for the dog. It's calming chews. They have tinctures you put in their food as well. Whichever one you find more beneficial for them or more useful for them, go ahead and use that. Hondo is privately making fun of the beer I'm drinking. I think. What are you referencing here?
It was an Adam Sandler reference.
You dog.
Gatorade's better. What?
Oh,
water! You're drinking the wrong water. Great movie.
High quality H2O. Now you weren't about to strike one of my. You weren't about to strike one of my star players, were you? But he's spitting the cooler.
Cooler. Oh man.
Okay. All right. So we had one more thing we were going to talk about that's in the tabloids. Netflix is coming out with a documentary called Varsity Blues. I want to touch on it really quick because I do want to get to some of our questions for today. 50 minutes in, we haven't touched one single fucking question. So basically, this guy was having rich families pay him so he could create a profile for their kid who is trying to get accepted into college or, basically get a scholarship, whatever it may be. and they were doctoring all these articles and photos and what have you about the kid's capabilities as an athlete or academics, whatever it may be. And they were getting accepted to these like Ivy League schools and shit like that. What a wild time. Let's skip that. If every time you snapped your fingers, I want to get into our questions. So we're going to touch on this again next episode. But I just kind of wanted to bring it up to begin with. I know I made you guys do the research. Good job. We're going to move past it though, because I want Hondo to be able to unleash, and we've got some good questions here, and I know he's got some good answers. So I want to skip ahead and come back to some of them. But the first question I want to ask is, if you were arrested if you were arrested with no explanation, what would your friends and family assume that you were arrested for? Rod? Disorderly conduct, it would have to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just absolutely.
Yeah, you're drunk in public.
Yeah. Rod, 100% probably dick dangling in public. Yeah, if I had to guess. What do
you mean it's smart?
Yeah.
It's adequate.
No, I thought about this one, and the thing is, I'm not stupid enough to like go poach an animal or something stupid like that. But I would think it has to be something outdoor related, whether I was trying to go climb a mountain or that I shouldn't be on, something like that. Because my family knows I'm not dumb enough to just go shoot a deer and spotlight it, claim it on social media that I shot it the next day, and somebody's got, trail camera pics in their backyard.
So we were at a particular national park. And there's signs everywhere saying, "Do not take any of the rocks from the trail."
I can put it back now.
I have like a whole bag full of these things still. By the way, no. I don't. I put them back. No.
There's a guy that got arrested this year. He had, I don't know the list, dude. It's impressive.
I don't have them. I swear to God, I don't.
He got arrested in Yellowstone. He had those giant ass pine cones from like California, Yosemite. He had like animals. He had so much weed on him. He had so much stuff from national parks. And the thing he goes is he tells the cop, none of this is from national parks. Like he told him that. And you're like, dude, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Incident.
Yeah.
For wearing that jersey. Yeah. I've only
learned that jersey.
So what are, by the way, another good friend of the show, Ricky Ticky Locke, I like to call him, a.k.a. DJ Sweat. DJ Rick K. Allen. He's, a man of many names.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Honestly. Many talents as well. He's basically saying, just that jersey, shirt cocking it down the streets of Dallas. Maybe wherever you feel like, but.
There's one place, Louisiana, they'd love it.
Down in the bayou, they would love that. Yeah, get that gumbo too.
Well, my mama said you got to air out them boys.
Alligators are ornery because they got all them teeth and no toothbrush.
Fantastic. No, I would agree. For you, it definitely would have to be. So, but to finish my story, so there's signs everywhere. Don't take the rocks. Don't take the rocks. And Hondo and I are kind of doing one of these little situations here. And just loading rocks into my fucking backpack that I still have to this day. Okay, let's tell the story, Hondo. Let's tell the story the way the story was meant to be told. We've all worked together at some point. Rod and I, our days were a little different there at the old Home Depots. However, Hondo and I, we worked together. Yeah, so we worked together. We went on this project. Now, we use counterweights for the field that we're in. 50 pounds a piece, right? We have to carry 100 of these total up 3 flights of stairs. There's 5 of us.
I called a black man a girl on accident before this.
No, yeah, okay. So yeah, I appreciate that. I'm glad you brought that up. I forgot we need to touch on that.
Oh god, that was a scary moment. It was like, yes, ma'am, sir. It was bad.
So it was one of these situations. We're getting into the elevator. Okay. They held it open for us, this person. As the doors are closing, Hondo goes, "Thank you, ma'am." And it just happened to be a heavier set African American person.
Long hair too.
The kind of heavy set that has the titties. And so Rick, we're not referring to you in this situation.
Yeah,
it's somebody else. Anyway, however, so as the doors are closing, Hondo goes, "Thank you, ma'am," and the doors shut, and Hondo and I just look at each other like, no.
Anyways, let's get back to the weights.
So yeah, so moves. That's what they're called. That's right. So there's 5 of us to carry 100 counterweights.
Rick,
now,
you, me, Dad, and his assistant, Papa Steele.
And Papa Steele's assistant at the time, who was
piece of shit.
Bingo. Anyways, so you would think, okay, what is that? 20 apiece. We get everybody up there. Now the old man, he's a little bit older. I'm gonna put Rick on the spotlight. He's gonna act like he's a young man here, but up in the same age region. We'll just point that out. So he's a DJ, and I'm pretty sure he still uses like cassettes and stuff like that to do the DJing. I don't know how he does it. He's pretty good at it.
He uses stone tablets to help record information. All right, that's a lost art.
So anyways, naturally you can kind of count those 2. They're not going to carry as many as they say they're going to or intend to initially. And then, yes, the assistant at the time was, in fact, a worthless piece of shit. So between Hondo and I, of these 100 counterweights, I think we carried about 70 probably total between him and I. So 35 or so a piece.
Well, it would have to be an even number since we had one in each hand, bro.
Well, so then it would have been 34 a piece because they sent Paul down to get the last 2 because piece of shit was trying to hang out upstairs and act like it was.
Well, we all come up and drop the last load, and your Papa Steele goes, "Nah, go get the last 2." And we're like, "Yeah."
So I'm glad DJ Rickay is being active in the chat here today because I have a lot of things to point out to him. One, he didn't buy my motorcycle, which is now officially sold. No more motorcycle. So that family deal I was giving you was actually more than what I got for it. You thought you were getting a deal. You weren't going to be getting a deal there, pal. No family hookup, because here's the thing. We're able to supply our own alcohol for the wedding. I was going to hook up Uncle Ricky here and get him a nice bottle of Buffalo Trace behind the bar just for him specifically. And he's throwing that out the window with the comments that he's going to be making. And lastly, I've been looking for a DJ for our wedding, and Uncle Sweat here has not, in fact, reached back out to me in regards to the DJing game. I wanted to be a part of the wedding, So I wouldn't ask him to do that. However, he's got no hookups now. This is actually our manager. He has to a degree been managing us. He's supposed to be setting us up with some interviews. He hasn't yet. So I'm really putting him on the spot hardcore here right now. And anyways, Rod, you sticking with indecent exposure? Is that going to be the thing? Like drunk in public? Yeah,
I think public intoxication. I feel like that'd be something that would get me. And people would be like, "All right, I get it." Like that's maybe not indecent exposure, but drunk in public for sure.
I think that needs to be the same for me too, honestly, because I don't know that there's a situation. I don't know. No, you know what? I would say property damage, like up to a certain amount, you can go to jail for that, right? Because I've always wanted to do this. I've always wanted to do the old baseball bat to the fucking mailboxes thing. I've always wanted to send him flying. Maybe I don't think that's just the baseball thing. I think that's just the destructive side of me. However,
I see road rage. Like,
yeah. Listen, you want to talk road rage? You know where I learned my road rage from? Driving to and from school and practices with this guy. It used to be outrageous. Mid-sentence, he'd be like, yeah, man, I'm looking forward to practice today. We're going to have move your ass.
Oh, yeah. I don't care if I'm on the phone with you. I yell.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You're on the phone. It doesn't matter. Like whatever situation, he'll be yelling at.
Oh, yeah.
And this was like I first learned this phenomenon when like we started going to different college. Like after high school, we started going to different colleges. Still talked a lot and everything. And it would just be mid conversation on the phone. Be like, yeah, buddy. Hey, I'm driving home for the holidays. So are you too? Yeah. You fucking use a turn signal. God damn it. It's very uncomfortable to be a part of, to be honest.
It's funny though. It is funny.
It is. It's hilarious. I also got punched a lot because the old slug bug PT Cruiser Bruiser deal going on over there. Old King, King, yeah. But dude, it's bad. The fiance really, I think she judges me pretty hard for some of the things that fly out of my mouth as we're traveling together. Yeah,
that's where you get it from. Old Mama Steel.
She does, but it's much more subtle than mine. It's like, you are fucking terrible at driving. I gotta tell you what.
Oh wow,
she's very she's very like
road crazy.
Listen, road rage is different for everybody. The fact that if you point it out to me, if you point it out and you get kind of nasty about it in any way, that's road rage to me. So I think it's more terrifying that she's somewhat level-headed about the way her road rage is. That's a tamed killer right there. That's what that is.
Line in the bushes.
Yeah. Road rage. That is definitely a possibility, though, for sure. All right. Let me jump in to my next question here for you. If every time you snap your fingers, you would instantly be transported to a random point in humanity's timeline, would you snap your fingers, and how often?
Okay, I had a question. So everything you're wearing goes with you?
Yes. Yeah, all the technology you have, whatever you're wearing, goes with you.
And you can snap it as many times as you want?
Yes.
100% I'm doing it. I'm loading myself with the craziest emergency kit you could ever come up with. Whatever you think you need, I'm having it on me. And I'm just, if I don't like where I am, I'm snapping again. You can snap 10,000 times in a day. Just boom, 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 boom. You can see so much shit. It'd be hilarious. It'd be great.
Yeah.
And it's random.
I think
so eventually you're going to go back somewhat.
I think the only way I'm doing this is, so like say I snap, I'm in a random timeline, and then I snap, and then I'm back. Like I go back each time, then I'm doing it. Otherwise, not a fucking chance. No way. No way.
You could spend a whole year snapping and you could finally get back. I mean, imagine all the shit you could see. You could prove all the assholes wrong. Nope. T-Rexes actually had long front arms. Fuck you. Like, I mean, that would be awesome.
I don't. Let's talk about it.
There we go.
So sexual chocolate here. Rod, you missed out on that. I asked about if you had a WWE persona, what would it be? And Rick decided to choose sexual chocolate as his WWE persona. So I'm actually disappointed with myself that I have not been referring to him as that this entire time. However, yes, as an African American man, Rick, your luck. You may snap back to slavery. But here's the thing. Right, but what if your random is just so unlucky that you're just like
but that's fine.
You're just
snap it.
You're just days apart, and you're like continuously through the slavery timeline, if you will.
One day at a time.
to where it's like, I mean, it's a shitty situation. Like, you got to think about that though. You really do. It's wild that there's a lot of unfortunate points in history that you could be stuck in. Like, say you snap back and you go, T-Rexes do have long arms, but it's also the same day that the fucking comet's coming down. Like,
You just look up. Oh, arms off.
how fast is that thing going? You think you have time to look up, react, pull that finger up, and snap it?
I would hope so. You ever heard? Nah, that's a stupid joke.
All right, but what if it's like this? What if it's like you snap and the meteor's like right here?
I mean,
That's a real possibility too.
That's the risk you take.
yeah.
I guess so. I guess so. What about you, Rod? Are you going back in history a little bit?
Oh yeah,
Bouncing around timelines?
I'm doing it. But here's the thing, though: you probably still age, and there's no guarantee you're ever actually getting back to that time. So I mean, yeah, I'll give it a whirl. You know. And then when I get close enough, I'll be like, all right, I've had my fun.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Like
Yeah.
you know you've lived this part. Like you
Yeah.
know you've lived this point in your life. Now okay, so let's say this. Let's change it even more. You snap. However, there's an autopilot version of you that continues on with this life. So from your birth up to what present day would be, that person is like, no matter what point you snap, there's another version of you.
So at some random time, could you go back to that point and then continue on? Like, could you retake over your random?
No, here's what I'm saying. There'd be two of you. So there'd be the person who snapped to that timeline, and then there'd be also the person living in that timeline.
Sure, you just
My mom
kill it.
said this isn't a good idea.
No, you don't. If you kill it, then you don't exist. No, let's not do the timeline things. It's fucking wonky. It's all fucking wonky. So, great question. Would you be able to change anything in the timeline? Yes, you would. Old butterfly effect. I mean, here's the thing. You take that chance. You're out there. You get a chance to slaughter Hitler. You take that chance, right?
Everybody goes,
Is that something? I did. So the only reason I did that is because Amazon. I don't know if either of you caught all Amazon's little marketing thing. I'll have to pull up a picture of it. Give me just a second here. So Rod thinks I'm looking at giant spiders when I look up. I don't have a second monitor just yet, but I have it hooked up so that my TV acts as a second monitor. So nobody freak out. I'm not looking at giant spiders or anything. I'm trying to pull up. So Amazon just changed their logo. I don't know if you guys have seen on like their app. If you see their app now, it's different. And the logo that they decided to go with initially supposedly had Hitler undertones, if you will. Okay, now let me pull this up for everybody. Hondo, this is cool. You're going to see a little bit of the technology that we get to use.
Yeah, I don't see much of that.
Bit of a doofus. However, so this is the change that they made. So this is what everybody was up in arms about because this is very Hitler-esque. Now, the one podcast I listened to, they pointed out like Hitler probably not a smiler very often. So is it really, to what degree is this Hitler-esque? That's not what I saw when I first saw this.
I think that's a bit of a stretch.
So they had to immediately make a change to this new little logo here.
Okay, but what if Hitler's shaving and he accidentally snips the corner? I mean, it's the same thing.
Listen, man, I'm just reporting the news. I don't create the news. I just report the news. Okay.
How do you get Hitler's stash from that?
I don't know.
That's like talking about Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head. How sad do you have to be that you feel it necessary to go, man, I got to change that logo. It looks like Hitler's stash. Like, I don't know. It's crazy, man.
I don't get it. Like, you have to be looking for reasons to be offended when stuff like this comes up.
Or even Mr. Potato Head, like
honesty.
he doesn't have like detachable dangly parts. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing there. He's smooth. There's nothing.
It's crazy.
Maybe he chose his identity.
Mustache.
I just shaved all my stuff. Should have kept it. Should have gone full mustache for this.
You should have. You should have.
Beyonce would have loved
that. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. But that's why that came to mind. The question that has also been presented to us. This is a hot topic today, by the way. Can you carry forward or backward anything you found during your snap? I'm going to say yes. If you can keep it on your person, then you can carry. Now, I mean, how
But
much?
you don't know
stuff
where
can
you're
you really
snapping.
collect? Well, no.
Doesn't matter.
But if you think it's going to be useful in any timeline, fucking take it.
Sorry, if I snap to like 1400s and the crown of like the English king is there.
But are you just snapping to where you're at currently? Like your location, you're snapping to where you're at. You're not in like moving around the world.
I mean, this is
Oh,
this is all around the world in humanity's timeline. So this is all of the world.
And at random locations.
Okay, so you're changing location as well. Okay,
Yeah.
Random locations as well.
That's
So
how
you get stuck in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. That's what I was just gonna say.
How you doing it?
Now we're changing our tune a bit, huh? Yeah.
That's right.
All right, so
Deep
here's
water.
what-
No, thank you.
Here's what you do before you snap the first time. You go get yourself a little life raft capsule. Yeah, and then there you go.
What if you're at the bottom of the ocean?
Then you float up very rapidly, hopefully.
No, not rapidly.
all your eardrums.
Yeah, that also okay. So you okay?
So the majority of the planet's ocean, so you're more than likely going to end up in the ocean.
Let's call it humanity. Let's say humanity's timeline. How much time has humanity spent on the ocean? I'm sure a lot, but in terms of being on
That's
land
fair.
in comparison
That's
to the ocean,
It's like 98% unexplored.
Yeah.
Something crazy like that.
and how much of humanity has been in the bottom of the ocean?
Well, you're just saying
very,
just
very
humanity's
deep.
timeline. You know what I mean? Like you didn't
Yeah.
say their location
I mean,
too.
I
So
mean, yeah.
through their timeline. I mean,
What a dangerous game.
yeah, it sounds dangerous. I can't do it. Nope.
All right.
I ain't getting eaten by no megalodon. All right.
Let me ask my next question. Okay. If you were required by law to get a full body tattoo, what would you get tattooed over your entire body? This is simple for me. You know what I'm doing? I'm doing like a NASCAR fire suit with all the logos on it, so I can get paid for that shit.
You know, I was thinking that same thing. That was.
I mean, listen, if it's something that we gotta do, might as well make money off of it, right?
Yeah, but then everybody's going to be making money, so it's not going to be useful.
Well, if everybody's as smart as me, then they're gonna be making money. But if not,
already do
some
that.
guy's gonna be like, "I want a full dragon tattoo scales on me because that's the shit I want." That guy's not gonna be making money. He's a dipshit.
Shit. Well, I'm kind of that guy because it would have to be animal related. I don't want to pick up my clothes and blend right in with this bush. Fuck you, cops.
Hey, that is useful. Hey, I didn't
Deer
think
hunting?
about that. Yeah.
No more camo for me as long as it's warm enough. Just sit in the bushes, hang out.
Now, what if you have to Now, I've never been hunting. You probably don't have to chase anything down ever.
There's like stalking.
Okay, so you get a full body tattoo. So you're saying naked camouflage is the best. Okay, and there's not going to be like the.
You're probably more exposed to like scent.
the rhythmic.
Can we talk about how bad a
snapping
dick tattoo
sound
would
of your
hurt?
thighs. Yeah.
Like, let's think about that for a moment.
I mean, you got to be running through bushes and shit, dude. That's gonna. I mean,
I'm not going like full Native American running shit down.
That's fair. That's fair.
Dick
We
gets,
do hunting
stuck
differently,
up
I guess.
Yeah. No, I don't know. It would have to be something animal related, I guess. I mean, I have my tattoo, but I don't think much about tattoos. I know there's one girl I work with. Is like she gets depressed and she's like, fuck it, another tattoo. I'm like, Jesus. She's got like 50 some tattoos. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, that's aggressive. I mean,
Yeah.
to each their own, though. I'm always hungry for another tattoo because, like, my cousin in Chicago. By the way, shout out to Hannah Steele in Chicago. She's a tattoo artist and she does phenomenal work. She's done like 3 of mine now. And every time I see her post it, I'm like, yeah, I think I need another one.
They are cool. I just don't want anything permanently on my skin more than I have to have it.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
You got that with your brothers though, didn't you?
Yeah, the Slovak word, but it's easy to hide. I forget it's there most of the time.
I know. Even the big ones that I have, like I forget that they're there. So funny story, by the way. First time I got my tattoo, Rod thought he was a fucking comedic artist. So I got it.
Which
the first one I got was on my ribs, right? Yeah. The first one I got was on my ribs. And I didn't tell my parents for like the first 2 weeks I had it. Okay. I thought they were going to be pissed off, which, I mean, Mama Steele was. My dad didn't give two shits about it. And so, like, I got a little pain in my ribs. And the entire time he's making like, oh man, my ribs hurt because I'm laughing so hard. While we're like eating with my family and like having drinks with my family and stuff. And what a piece of shit this guy is, huh?
Team Mama Steele, what can I say?
You should have just whipped out the wrist board and solved your problems.
Yeah. By the way, Hondo is a self-proclaimed not competitive risk player.
I'm not.
This is my impression. Let me do my impression, if you will, of Hondo playing Risk.
Go ahead. I don't really remember.
Suck it!
Yeah.
Over 15 territories.
I mean, yeah, that's not competitive though. That's me just being a jackass. While Mama Steele's turning in cards under the table, getting hundreds of troops over there. She's a blood throat cutting. I call bullshit. She's just crushing everybody, and I'm just sitting over here trying to hold on to Australia, and she's like, "Fuck you!" And I'm like, "Take Europe; it's worth more."
Very vindictive player. Vindictive player. I will give you that. Yeah, she's if you have wronged her in any way in the game, she will make a point to attempt to destroy you.
Just a heads up to anybody that ever plays the Steele family in Risk.
Yes. Yeah. Oh man. All right. Let me ask one more question for you before we wrap it up for today. We're about hour 16 in, doing good on time. I'll touch on my whiskey click after this, but I won't pull up the article. We'll just kind of talk about it. So my last question for you guys is, what would some fairy tales be like if they took place in modern times and included technology and culture from today? So I want to go first because I like, this is the one that I really took the time to think. So mine is a Dracula who his bloodlust comes from the fact that he cannot be famous, right? Okay, so he's hungry for fame, and he cannot take like Instagram pictures or Facebook pictures because it uses like mirrors and lenses so that when he takes a picture, he cannot see himself. Mm-hmm. So when he goes to post it, there's literally nothing there. That would be the fairy tale of today's day and age, I think.
See, I took it as like, Rod, go ahead. I got a minute to articulate here.
Okay, yeah, I took it completely different too. I didn't come up with like my own thing. I was like, okay, so I'm assuming Disney's just going to make these remakes, so we're going to find out before too long.
Yeah,
I mean, you got to, yeah, and that's all I got. I didn't. That's a good movie idea. You should pitch it to our friend Bryce and see what he can do with it.
What's the
now? I did ask Bryce if he needed voiceovers for some of his little. He has not contacted me yet. He's got to work through our agent, so he would actually have to go through DJ Sweat if he does want to sign me on as a voiceover. I got a few voices in the bag, man. I've been working on them. Like, I honestly have been working on them. That's the thing.
Well, buddy, I've talked to Bryce recently. He's been going through application, and I don't think you made it, bud. I don't think you made it. You were the only application, but I don't think you made it.
We could have talked about this off air. I feel like that would have been a better time to do it, but I guess now is the time. So
I don't know.
Okay, so
go ahead, Matt.
I was just gonna ask, like, what do you have in mind? I
don't know, man. I keep coming back to like fairy tales and just like, I don't know. It's hard to even make a fairy tale with today's technology because everybody has access to everything, and like, this is such a downer. But I don't know. Like, you get the pretty girl, and then maybe it's like the reverse of the tale. Like, it ends like crap and not good. And you know, they do all the social media stuff. You know, they tap in the DMs, and then I don't know.
Or you find out, yeah, or you tap into, or you find out she's a dude.
Yeah, or transgender. Just kidding, can't have babies. But who knows?
We'll call that dark Disney. That's
coming to a theater near you.
Yeah.
The movie that just came out a little over a year ago, I think, with Chris Pratt and the trolls and the magic.
Mm-hmm.
Onward. Thank you. That
was beautiful.
I like that movie, and I think as time goes on, we'll go back towards more of the magic. And I guess most fairy tales are magic, obviously, because fairies are magical creatures. But I think that's more where the fairy tale lies. Not so. That's why the Dracula thing was pretty good. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought.
So I may reach out to some studios and pitch this idea. I don't know, and it's probably already been poached. If anybody, that's the beauty of this is we don't have a ton of publicity, so nobody has poached this idea yet. But you know what, dude? Maybe that's something I can get into. However, by the way, I challenge you to do this. You will enjoy it, and maybe next time if you and I get to hang out, we'll do this. Start a movie that nobody has seen, like in your house, in your apartment, whatever, and make drinking rules for it just based on the title and whatever the poster is. Not even the trailer. And by the way, Pop Steel, that is a lovely comment that you got there. So Cinderella fits into a Jordan sneaker instead of a glass slipper. That's fantastic. So yes, make drinking rules to a movie that nobody has seen yet, just based off of the title and based off of the movie poster. And don't do it with Rod in the room because he will get you absolutely obliterated. So we played a drinking game to Onward, right? First thing he says, all right, any species that isn't an elf, you take a drink. And the opening montage is everything but a fucking elf. And it's just like, drink. And we're like, all right, bud, you got to change it. We're not doing this for the entire movie. You got to change it. So what's his next rule? Every time you see a dragon, you have to finish a beer. The pet of the family is a fucking dragon.
Yeah.
So it's a fun time. It's a dangerous time. But if you got nothing better to do, well, you got weird weekends. But if you got nothing better to do on your weekend,
right.
Start a movie you've never seen and play some games, man.
Talk about a real boring situation, having weekends when everybody else is at work and you want to try to hang out with people and you can't.
I did, yeah. So when I worked security, I had Wednesdays and Thursdays off. Yeah, what a fucking nightmare that was.
It's also nice though, because if you want to do anything, you can get away with it. But
yeah, you can absolutely. And I worked 4 to midnight, so I was like, if people are still out on the weekend, I can go out, and I don't work till 4 p.m. the next day, so it's not the worst thing in the world. So it did work out in my favor. But so I want to touch on a couple whiskey clicks real quick. Let me run our video, and then we'll get into these. Let me take old Pop Steel's comp. So whiskey clicks are wild stories and epic fails. Now, not necessarily a wild story with this one. However, I wanted to talk about the fact that, we talked about some of the comments and stuff about how people are soft. And so I have a few different insults that I have found recently. And one of them being from Conor McGregor. Where'd you get the sweater from? Oh, only the best fucking knockout artist in the game. That wasn't a good one. I know I'm not proud of it, man. That's one I haven't worked on. However, can we talk about that? Like, this has just kind of been swept under the rug that Bill Cosby was, in fact. Now, I think he got off on charges, if I'm not mistaken, that went to court and he got off on charges. But a man who stood as a icon for our generation and even the generation prior as a family man, in a family TV show, and it just so happens that this joke is able to land and connect because Conor McGregor, for whatever reason, wearing the same sweater as Bill Huxtable, I believe his name was in the TV show, aka Bill Cosby, who played the character, and the joke referencing the fact that he's the best knockout artist because he was alleged to have been slipping stuff into drinks and
oh god,
knocking people out.
Freedom of speech, man.
I guess. Now, clearly, clearly, Bill Cosby not in the spotlight anymore. Probably not making comments about this particular meme, because I'm sure he wants his name to be completely cleared of everything that has taken place. Now, the other thing I wanted to point out is O.J. Simpson getting both shots of the coronavirus vaccine or the COVID-19 vaccine. Somebody chimes in with a literal murderer has gotten the vaccine before his grandmother. And here's what it takes. Like, here's the beauty of being famous and being an athlete, especially in today's day and age. Somebody probably seriously chimes in with, "Did your grandma rush for 2,000 yards in a single season?" Yeah, that's why she didn't get the vaccine first. Another case, like this man was chased down in a white Ford Bronco, which, by the way, the Broncos are back. I don't know if you've seen them. I kind of want one.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. They're not the original Bronco cool, but they're pretty cool. My brother's getting one.
It's an affordable Jeep. That's what it really is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the way they're competing with Jeep.
I mean, they have to. By the way, did you see the new electric Mustang? It looks like dog shit.
No, I have not seen it.
No.
Electric sports cars just don't go together.
And so my last whiskey click is, I'm not going to pull the article up, but I saw an article on TMZ that, by the way, if you want to go through tabloids, TMZ is the place to do it. I found an article about a guy who was a part of a cockfighting ring, and he actually got his own sack slashed off by his prize rooster.
Yeah.
That he was entering the cockfighting rings. So Karma be an evil mistress. Yeah. I mean, what
are you wearing?
Like, what are you wearing to wear? What, to where your sack is exposed?
Yeah, right. Like, you're telling me denim jeans doesn't. I mean, I've been
crotchless chaps. What else do you wear to a cockfight?
Yeah. Wrong kind of cockfighting, but you have been in a different arena, pal. I don't know, because here's the thing: is like I'm pretty sure. Now, I haven't done extensive research on this. I won't say how I do know this though. They will like tape weapons to these roosters.
Okay.
To where like knives and talons are sharpened and shit like that. Yeah. So I mean, maybe he was running. I mean, the whole thing's illegal, and the dude deserved it in the long run. But I don't know. Like, what is that? Is that a fair punishment for what the guy was doing, though?
I mean, I hope he got more than that.
I'm sure it got infected. The guy's probably dead, if I had to guess. I didn't read the article. Like, what hospital are you going to where you can accurately explain what happened?
That's somewhere in Mexico. That's all I'm thinking.
Yeah. That's yeah. Where are these taking place? You think they're all in Mexico? You don't think they're in Los Angeles somewhere?
I feel like Los Angeles is a wild place. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that goes on there.
Chicago, maybe. Chicago, possibly.
I know there's chicken chip bingo here in Texas.
What is it?
Chicken chip bingo. So there's a grid on the ground. Like, imagine a bunch of quadrants, right? Like 100.
And the chickens just shit on it.
Yeah. So you buy a quadrant or quadrants, I guess, and they put a fresh chicken in there, and they see where it shits, and whoever square it shits in wins. It's called chicken chip bingo.
That is beautiful.
I know there's some in Austin. I haven't found anywhere that does it here, but
if you would only describe me that, and like not knowing you were in Texas right now, I would have just assumed you were in Texas right now after saying that.
So.
Texas or Louisiana. Texas or Louisiana would probably be the two. Which, by the way, I mean, you know,
Bourbon Bowl.
You got the old, Bourbon Bowl, baby, Bourbon Bowl.
Bourbon Bowl.
Yeah, but is he on his back, mouth open, snoring like he was when we went camping?
On his side. He is on a sleeping bag though.
So, one last thing. Oh, hold on, I gotta get fucking OJ Simpson's just staring down on me because he got the vaccine. Good for him. If I rushed 2,000 yards, maybe I would have had it by now too. One last thing I wanted to pull up is we do sell merch for our quote unquote brand, if you will. I currently am wearing one of our shirts, which is in our as always cheers, because that's how we end our show. Oh, look at him, the goodest of boys. So Rod, by the way, I did put it in the description this time, so you can in fact go to the description on Facebook and on YouTube and copy our link to get to our website here, which we have a variety of merchandise. You want the Rod bod, you got the Rod bod right there, pal. One of the big things we like to highlight is we did an Idiots Against Cancer shirt. So as you can see, Idiots Against Cancer, all the different colors there to signify the different ribbons for a variety of cancers, all of them of which are a fucking nuisance, if you will. So you can go on to our website, and obviously we've got some more fun ones. Pop Top, Come and Listen. Got some Gusty Town Bears. So we're starting a movement, if you will. You could call it a movement. It really hasn't gained any track. Oh, what
is that a 90s country reference?
What's that? Pop Top?
Yeah.
No, it's not like, oh, who is that? Alan Jackson?
Yeah.
Pop Top again. Now, Pop Top and tune in. That's just kind of our little tune in, because we always got our beer on hand as we're going through our episodes here. Listen, man, I'm from an hour south of Chicago. We ain't got no. All the slang that I earned was from here in Ohio. But like I said, you can go into our store: hats, hoodies, T-shirts. We've got a few masks if you want to get some masks. Cincinnati, that one's for old Rod there. Mugs, we've even got. By the way, I have the Out of This World mug. Pretty nice actually.
You've been to Roswell, New Mexico?
No.
Do you know the story behind Roswell, New Mexico?
It's like where everybody gets abducted, isn't it?
Yeah. Basically.
So let's end the show with this. We ask, I think, every guest when they come on the show, do you believe in aliens?
No, not at this moment.
Ooh. Are you a see it to believe it kind of guy?
For things. I don't know if there is aliens, but I'm not saying there's not other life forms. Whether those just be molecules or I don't know if there's other actual societies.
Species, yeah. Okay. I can live with that.
I guess I wouldn't classify it like, is this going to be Star Trek one day? Who the fuck knows? But I mean, it's not that far-fetched. I mean,
Elon Musk working on it.
We got Guardians now, so
I mean, really,
whatever.
Yeah. Space Force X, yeah.
So I don't know, maybe, but I guess no one's gonna believe it until we actually see it.
I'm all for that. I can respect that.
Walk across the White House lawn and get in the White House. Here we are.
Here we are.
See, I do believe in aliens, but I will not be completely convinced until I see it myself. I'm the same way. Like I like there's all the reports come out and everything, and nobody really has a clear-cut picture. That's the problem that I have is no picture has been
just like Bigfoot.
Definitive. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's funny because I'm kind of stealing this from another podcast that I listen to called Meat Eater, but there was like 5 mountain lions left in Florida, panthers, cougars, whatever you want to call them. And I think 3 of them got hit by cars in like a year. So it's just like, you're telling me Bigfoot hasn't been hit by a car yet? Like, come on. There's no way.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Big foot is supposedly smarter than a mountain lion, apparently. I don't know. But that kind of thing. Do you believe it or not? I don't know. I'd laugh the poor fool one day that gets in a Bigfoot costume. Somebody's hunting, they don't know it, and they get shot. That could happen. 100% that could happen.
There's entire shows dedicated to finding Bigfoot, by the way, which is fantastic. Like, people spend money and resources to find Bigfoot. It's like,
People
why? Like,
more than I ever will to do that show.
Let's wrap it up there for today. One thing we like to do is we like to give our guests an opportunity. If there's anybody in particular you'd like to shout out to on the show before we wrap things up. Nobody in particular. I
guess if we're sticking with like the Marysville vibe, you know, old Mama and Papa Hondo living right down the street.
Hey, I like that. I like that.
6 miles apart, 7 miles apart. So a lot of time going back and forth between those 2 houses. So yeah.
We used to, like, it wasn't just Hondo's house that we would have an onslaught of Nerf gun wars, by the way. Like my parents actually had guns themselves,
right?
And we would in fact annihilate each other. Now, Papa Steel, a little more obvious because his had a battery and a fan in it. So no matter where he was in the house, unless he turned it off, you just hear. And you're like, yeah. I think he's about 2 clicks that way upstairs. I know exactly where he is.
Oh, man.
What about you, Rod? You got anybody for this week?
Nope, nothing in particular.
I'm gonna give a shout out to the Nerf creator. Actually, while we're sitting here, kind of plugging their product. I mean, if they want to send me some free Nerf guns, that'd be okay. They're pretty cheap, by the way. Now, what would this cost back in the day? $35, $40?
I don't know. Yeah, probably. I don't know.
You don't know. You don't know. $20. Get out of here. What? $20. And it came with 30 darts. Yeah.
And they're making like shorter darts now.
They're making ones that look like they have like fins on them too. Something fucking launch.
Well, like the one Nerf gun that I will never forget buying. We were on vacation and it was like a fucking bazooka, and it shot a dart like that long and it was like that fucking round, and you had to pump the sumbitch like 19 times to get it to go anywhere.
Yep. But them things though. Yeah, those were the first ones that really had some pop to them.
There was no debate on if you got hit by that one or not.
Yeah.
But it's a good product.
Right. We'll wrap it up. It is a good product. We'll wrap it up there for today. We always end our show. I know you had your one moose rule, but we always raise a can to fans, friends, family, whatever F's you can think of. And we like to give a nice little cheers.